Ang susunod na programa ay rated PG. Patnubay at gabay ng magulang ay kailangan sa mga batang manonood.
Good morning, Madam Chair. May we request the Honorable Sabinia to lead us in prayer.
Well, pray our most gracious Heavenly Father, we come to give you praise. We thank you for this wonderful day that we are able to meet this morning for the purpose of our second regular session in the 11th City Council. We humbly ask your presence, Lord, in our deliberation so that we will be able to discuss the benefits of our visit to the city. This we ask and pray in Jesus' name.
May we remain standing as we sing the Philippine National Anthem. Bayang magili, handa, awit. Bayang magili, persasilanganan, alam ng puso, sa ibig mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, tuyat ka ng mag-ibig, sa manlulupi. Di ka pasisil, sa dagat puno, sa simoy, sa langit mo'y buhap. May kilagang tula at awit sa panayang minamahal. Ang islap ng watawat mo'y tago, may nganak iningning. Ang bituin at araw niyan kailan pa may magdidiling. Lupa ng araw ng luwa ating pansinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya na pa may pag-aapi, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo. Marunong pa sa tawas ng Pilipinas. Ako ay Pilipino, buong kapatan ng lumpas sa tawas ng Pilipinas, sa pagsasakit niya sa isa na may dalang katarungan at kalayaan, na pinaiinilos na sa bayanan ng Diyos, mga tao, sa kalikasan, at makabakasan. Madam Chair, may we request the Secretary to conduct a roll call of the members present today.
Honorable Vice Secretary Chu, Honorable Ronald Christopher Glenn Ariosa, Honorable Benedicto Pulve, Honorable Arnold Gabriela, Honorable Wilson Ko, Honorable Baldomero Fernandez, Honorable Ricardo Victor Ona, Honorable Ernesto Mondarte, Honorable Cesar Dakar Jr., Honorable Teodoro Kikoy, Honorable Troy Asugas, Honorable Ricardo Alajenio, Honorable Nance Samuel Ko. As registered with Chairman, there are 12 members of the Council present.
Madam Chair, may I raise a point of collective privilege? Madam Chair, I noticed that for the past two sessions, there has been a clear or maybe deliberate effort on the part of the Secretariat to exclude in the roll call the name of the Honorable Rio Olimpio Ilingapin, City Councilor representing being the IP mandatory representative of peoples, indigenous peoples, pursuant to Republic Act number 8371. It may be noted, Madam Chair, that during the previous council, isang unang panglungsod had already passed a resolution accepting formally the Honorable Rio Olimpio Ilingapin as City Councilor representing the indigenous peoples. In fact, I would like to particularly refer to resolution number in the minutes of the 115th regular session with Second Panglungsod held on April 2, 2013. There was a resolution passed by the August body through the 10th Council, otherwise known as Resolution number 2013-0846, a resolution recognizing the Honorable Rio Olimpio Ilingating as a member of the Sangguniang Panglungsod pursuant to the provisions of Republic Act No. 8371, otherwise known as the Indigenous Rights Act of 1997. But apparently, Your Honor, for 2 sessions, including this session, his name has not been included in the roll call. In view thereof, Your Honor, may I file and interpose the following privilege motion to the effect that the motion be passed by this august body, recognizing anew the Honorable Rio Olimpio Ilingating as member of the Sangguniang Panglungsod. In effect, reconfirming Resolution Number 2013-846 of the 10th Council of the Sangguniang Panglungsod, which recognizes already the Honorable City Council Rio Olimpio Ilingating as a member of the Sangguniang Panglungsod of Pagadian. I so move, Madam Chair.
There is a move to reaffirm the acceptance of Sir Olimpio Ilingating based on Resolution 213-0846. Duly seconded. Are there any objection? Yes, Honorable Mundarte.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I rise for an objection of what has been moved a while ago by Honorable Kikoy regarding the reiteration of the acceptance of the IP representative in this Honorable Council. Not because, Honorable Madam Chair, that I am against IP representative to be here in the Sangguniang Panglungsod. But I just want to put things on its proper perspective before any acceptance of any indigenous people representative here in our 11th Council. Although there is already an acceptance from the 13th Council with regards to the IP representative
The 10th Council.
on the 10th Council, but we are not bound to follow the thing, especially if we notice that there are some irregularities prior to the appointment of the indigenous people representative, Honorable Presiding Officer. May I expound?
Yes, please proceed, Honorable Mundarte.
My reason, Honorable Presiding Officer, being a public servant, I should have to be fair to everybody. Just last week, I received a letter of complaint coming from 3 tribal leaders. The first one is a Muslim leader, while the other 2 is not only an ordinary tribal Subalin leaders, but they are now presently sitting as barangay captains of their respective barangays. The first one, I think, is Barangay Captain Albula, the Barangay Captain of Diguro, who has almost all of the inhabitants in that area are Subalin. In Lower Sibata, in Bitoray, another one, Barangay Captain Smoke, a very famous family name, and I think an original Subalin by blood. Now, the second one, Honorable Chair, is the issue of meeting the minimum threshold before the appointment of any IP or ICC representative in an LGU. And I would like to quote the Department of Interior and Local Government and the National Commission on Indigenous People of their joint circular with regards to this. Joint circular, the DLG and NCIP guidelines for the determination of minimum threshold of IP-ICC population in an LGU to allow mandatory representation in the local sanggunian provides the following provisions. First, the total population of the LGU, of which we are now around 230,000, I think, shall be divided by the number of sanggunian members as prescribed in the local government code, and the result thereof will serve as a minimum number to be met by an IP-ICC population in such LGU to qualify an IP mandatory representative for a seat in the sanggunian, bayan, lungsod, or barangay. In the event that an IP-ICC does not meet the minimum number of computed, the DILG and NCIP shall determine the local government unit has met the threshold. And the threshold of IP-ICC is not met. This means that there will be no IP sectoral representation in the sanggunian, bayan, panlungsod, or panlalawigan. Honorable Presiding Officer, we are living here since birth, and I've been in this area roaming around as a city councilor for almost 21 years, and I know the total population of the Subanen group in some of our barangays in the city of Pagadian. Then, what is the third one, Honorable Presiding Officer, is that indigenous cultural communities or indigenous people does not only confine to one tribal group. In fact, what has been mentioned here, ang Badyaw, Samal, Iranan. Dili na lang natin siya basahon, kay this is very clear, stipulated in 83, Republic Act 8371, Honorable Presiding Officer, and I know that most of us already knew this. So those are things that I consider when I make my objection, Honorable Presiding Officer. As I said a while ago, I welcome any representative from the women's, from the youth, or from other organization, but it should be put on its proper perspective. Although the law said that it is a mandatory representation to any legislative body, but it should go through a legal process first before coming up with acceptance, Honorable Presiding Officer. And thank you.
Madam Chair, as the proponent of the motion, may I tender my reply to the objection, Your Honor?
Yes, please proceed.
Firstly, Your Honor, Resolution number 2013-0846 was not merely a resolution passed by the 10th Council. It was a resolution of the Sangguniang Panglungsod through the 10th Council. And we take notice of the fact that during the passage of this resolution, this was presided by no less than the incumbent City Mayor of Pagadian, who was then the Vice Mayor. Now, this is a resolution not of the 10th Council, but of the Sangguniang Panglungsod. Under our rules, Your Honor, any resolution existing and passed by the Sangguniang Panglungsod could only be rescinded, revoked, or otherwise modified by a vote of 2/3 of the members present, of the total members. Now, since this resolution has already been adopted by the Sangguniang Panglungsod through the 10th Council, it will take another resolution to rescind or revoke this resolution. Secondly, on the grounds relied upon by the objection as to the manner or the process involved in the selection of the Honorable Lingati as IP mandatory representative is not within this august body to review that. Another forum or any other body, principally the NCIP, should review the process, but not this council, Your Honor. Because even in the resolution, Your Honor, it's very clear here that the authenticity of the certificate of recognition issued by the city local government operation officer with reference to the assumption of the Honorable Lingati as IP representative was corroborated by the Department of Interior and Local Government Representative, Your Honor. So, if what was contemplated upon to revoke this just because there were allegedly 3 barangay captains or 3 personalities of question, the selection process, that is not a ground for revocation. That might be the basis for the review by another forum, Your Honor, particularly the NCIP. But insofar as we are concerned, there is regularity. There is a presumption of regularity in the passage of resolution number 2013-0846, recognizing the Honorable Rio Olimpio Lingati as member of the Second Pangungsod of Pagadian City. If there is any person begrudged by the selection process, they should go to the NCIP and question that process, but it is not within the competence and jurisdiction of this august body to review that. That is exclusive and jurisdictional on the part of the NCIP. We submit, Your Honor. May we recognize the Honorable Nakal first, Madam Chair.
Yes, Honorable Cesar Nakal, the second.
With regards to the recognition of the Honorable Olimpio Lingati, being the sectoral representative to this council, citing the statement of Honorable Mundante, Madam Chair, the very phrase of putting things in proper perspective. Because, to my opinion, Madam Chair, it's tantamount, this whole process is tantamount to putting the carriage for the horse. Because the way I understand, Madam Chair, there has to be an office created first. There has to be a funding provided for that office before accepting or recognizing a sectoral representative duly selected by the grassroots being represented by the certain representative. So that, Madam Chair, the purpose of the law, for all intents and purposes of the law, should not be defeated, because how could a certain representative without an office could carry out his functions and responsibilities effectively to deliver the basic services to his constituents without the benefit of having a salary or any emoluments that should be enjoyed by that he should have enjoyed with the other regular members of the Sangguniang. So, in my opinion, Madam Chair, it is proper enough for this council, Madam Chair, that there should be a process that should be undertaken by this council with regards to the coming of another office, another assumption of another sectoral representative. That is only my concern, Madam Chair. I am not against of the sectoral representative of the what we call the indigenous people, because to deny them, Madam Chair, we are Filipinos are known throughout the world that we are being comprised of diverse culture. So we need to acknowledge them as one of our culture. It's part of our heritage, Madam Chair. So I, for one, I fully support the sectoral representative to this council. But my question is, the process is, the way I see it is flawed, Madam Chair. No? That's all, Madam Chair.
May I recognize the Honorable Gabinia first.
Yes, Honorable Gabenia.
I recognize.
Madam Chair, the issue is about the resolution 2013-0846, which is sponsored by yours truly during the 10th Council. A resolution recognizing Honorable Rio Olimpio Ligating as a member of the Sangguniang Panglunsod pursuant to the provision of Republic Act number 8371, otherwise known as Indigenous Rights Act of 1997. Madam Chair, I was remember the time when I was raised this question or motion. The basis of the proponent or the yours truly was based on the document submitted by the proponent, which is Bobby Ligating. I have here the work requirement submitted, and in accordance to the national guidelines for the mandatory representation of indigenous people in local legislation council, the proponent of this representation was already complied, and where in fact, Madam Chair, I have also here the certification coming from the certificate of recognition as ICC IPP representative issued by the DILG in the person of Madam Gadiano. And based on his recognition as ICC IPP representative will base in accordance to the certificate of affirmation in their sector issued by the regional director, Mr. Salom M. Tungsod, CEO 6. So that is how I represent the motion for recognizing as a new members of this August body, not the 10th Council and not the 11th Council, but in generally as a member of the Sangguniang Panglunsod of Pagadian City. So based on the enumeration and explained by the previous speaker in the person of Councilor Modarte, I have here a copy of a resolution coming from Barangay Diborok, Pagadian City, a resolution expressing full and strong support to the petition of the United Sabanan Tribal Elders Leaders residing at Pagadian City, endorsing Tinguay ng Rio Olimpio Bobby Ligating to sit as indigenous people, IP representative in the local council of Pagadian City. So it is a resolution from Barangay Diborok, which is the Marcelo Abela, is then the current chairman of the barangay, Madam Chair. And so, in the pending motion of the floor leader affirming this resolution, I think we are on the period of discussion. So I support the manifestation of our floor leader, Madam Chair. So,
We will recognize the Honorable Modarte as it to speak contra con.
I am not making any grants to my colleagues who are members of the 10th Council before, and I am not even questioning their wisdom in passing a resolution for acceptance of IP representative. My objection focused on the resolution reiterating of the acceptance of Bobby Ligating as IP representative, Honorable Presiding Officer, because as I've said a while ago, that indigenous cultural communities and indigenous people does not only confine in one tribal group, na Ibadyaw, dunay Samal, dunay Iranon, as stipulated in 8371. Therefore, it is very clear in the documents submitted to us by Mr. Bobby Ligating that he is only representing the Subanen tribal group. So there is a danger of this, Honorable Presiding Officer, if we will not put things on its proper perspective. By accepting Bobby Ligating, can he represent Samal? Can he represent Badyaw? Can he represent other indigenous cultural communities and other indigenous people in Pagadian City if they can meet the minimum threshold which is required before the appointment of any IP representative in the locality, Honorable Presiding Officer. So again, I'm not making any grabs. I am not questioning also the wisdom of my fellow legislators who are members of the 10th Council. But again, reiterating that I am just putting things on its proper perspective, because as a member of the Sangguniang Panlungsod, we have to discuss issues, especially if we can see things that are questionable, and we are not enlightened.
Yeah, we discuss merits, not personalities.
The presiding officer. I would like to raise this question of the objection of Honorable Mondarte. I think it was based on the 3 letters sent by these 3 barangay. One from the leader of a Muslim group of Tawagan Sur in the person of Safaron Tumne. The other one is from the Barangay Diborok, and the other one is also Barangay Diborok. 3 letters. Are these 3 signatories around here? Honorable Barangay Chairman Mong Alviola.
They are not around.
They are not around. Good. Because if they were around, it might get confused or embarrassed. I would like to question the SP Secretariat who handed me this copy, as this letter was addressed to our Honorable Presiding Vice Mayor. I suppose all the council members has copy.
We confirm that all the
Yes.
councilors will furnish copies of the 3 letters.
Okay. What a coincidence if these 3 leaders use a computer with the same font, the same style, but of different tenors. And for the record purposes, I would like also to ask Councilor Mondarte if he's aware. Ernesto Mong, tribal leader and punong barangay, of what particular barangay really? Because as the letter says, Diburok, Pagadian City, punong barangay. And another tribal leader and punong barangay of Diburok, again, Marcelo Alviola. 2 barangay with the same barangay with 2
Chairman.
punong barangay. So it was really a confusing letter. It shows that this computer is just one, and he forget to change the barangay of the other one. For the record also, anybody knows, Marcelo Alviola, which barangay really is?
He is the barangay chairman of Diborok.
Diborok. Okay. So Ernesto Mong should not be a punong barangay of Diborok.
He is the barangay of Dituray.
Dituray. For record purposes, there was an error. What a very responsible barangay chairman. He signed a Diborok in his letter.
Honorable Cook, maybe they don't have computers, so you can donate one from your office.
It shows that the 3 of them come at the same time preparing this letter. But I will not question or prepare this letter. That's only my remarks. Thank you.
We recognize the Honorable Fernandez.
Yes,
Madam Chair.
Honorable
After that,
I would like also to place something in the right perspective. And I assume that any one of the honorable council members will always raise questions that are proper. And but unfortunately, with due respect to my colleague here, our very energetic and very reliable majority leader, I have to disagree with his motion. Motion for reconfirmation, because actually this is no longer necessary. If there is any motion, it should be the motion to rescind what was already approved during the 10th Council di Sangguniang Paglunsod. In its 10th Council, which was duly presided by the now Mayor of the City of Magallanes, the Honorable Pulmones, was then our Vice Mayor. Now, I not want to go into the merits of the complaints against the representative of the Subanen tribe. And I'm very happy also that I was duly informed by some important aspect on the matter of selection, the representation, which was elucidated by the Honorable Mungarte. I'm happy that my Inado was able to give something to me this morning. And we do not want to make this issue so divisive that we will not be able to act on something that is very more urgent and important. There is a proper forum where to ventilate the complaints filed against the representative from the Subanen tribe in our province and in our city. And we cannot question the representation as far as I'm concerned, because as a matter of fact, we have been, even in the province when I was a board member, we've always been celebrating anniversaries, the Migayon Festival, where we recognize the presence or the numerous numbers of our Subanen tribes in our provinces of Wangaso and the city of Magallanes. So I will just limit my dissertation on something that I would say will probably lessen the infection that might go on within the membership of this council. We're not here, I would like to, especially for myself, I'm not here to obstruct any move from the leadership of this council. What I have to say is that there should be give and take, because this is the collective body and no one is an island. And I hope that if there are matters that are, shall we say, debatable, we should limit that within the parameters of what is legal and what is judicial affair. Now, in this matter, I would like to stress one point as to the legality of our deliberation here, because we are treating an emotion that is superfluous. Because if there is anyone questioning the right of the representative of the Subanen to sit as a member of this council, which was already approved and fully deliberated during the 10th council, I would not say also in the meantime that I would not say also that no one can question that. Anyone has the right to question, especially those who just come as being new members of this council, because they were not part of the deliberation during the 10th council. But as I said, what has been done has already been done, and the proper move to do is to file a motion to rescind that, or whatever. In the meantime, as far as I'm concerned, I have to recognize the Honorable Ingating as a member of this council, because he was duly recognized during the last council, none other presided by none other than the incumbent mayor now of the city of Magallanes, the Honorable Rubio Pulmones. Thank you.
Madam Chair, confirm him so that this august body, through this council, will also recognize him. Reconfirmation is not also violating our rules, but it should have been more proper to file a motion to rescind. But in the event that this will be passed, there is no prohibition for any member of this body to file a motion to rescind the resolution of the previous council, and this resolution may be passed reconfirmation resolution. But it came about because we are constrained by necessity. You review, the Honorable Ingating was not recognized on 2 occasions on the roll call. So, as a member of this body, I avail the privilege, the collective privilege, because it involves the members of this council, and that is a privilege motion that is takes precedence in all other motion except motion to adjourn and motion to set the date for another discussion for another day. So, Madam Chair, unless there are may we recognize the Honorable Fernandez again, Madam Chair?
Yes.
If we-
Motion.
I would.
I propose that the motion should be worded in such a manner that the movement will ask this Honorable Council to allow the Honorable Ingati to sit as the jury representative of the Sawanan tribe.
Yeah, it could have the same effect, Your Honor. I concur.
So what is now the amended motion is to include
I would
a
yield
motion
to
to
the-
include Honorable Lingating in this August chamber. Is that it?
Yes, I would yield to the proposal of the Honorable Fernandez to amend my motion to the effect that this August body will allow the Honorable Ingati to sit as member of the Sangguniang Panglungsod of Pagadian. In effect, Your Honor, amending my original motion, Your Honor.
Okay, Honorable Mondarte, what is your manifestation?
Honorable Presiding Officer, because I believe the main motion has been, doon na yung objection, though in my capacity, Honorable Presiding Officer. So, this is just a parliamentary inquiry. If we can still amend the main motion, if there is already an objection from a member of the City Council.
I'll have to refer to Secretary Saldua first.
Your Honor. An amended motion would still be considered, to my personal opinion, Your Honor. Unless there was already a division of the House after the period of discussion, the amendment shall no longer be entertained. Only the original motion will be voted upon. Especially so, Your Honor, that the proponent yielded to the amendment, the proposed amendment, Your Honor. So it's no longer debatable. I yielded to the proposal of the Honorable Fernandez to amend the motion to the effect that it is now a amended resolution, amended motion, allowing the Honorable Lingating to sit as member of the Sangguniang Panglungsod Pagadian pursuant to resolution number 2013-0486.
There also adopts or accept the amendment because honestly it's the same
It will have the same
effect. So the motion, amended motion now is to include Honorable Lingating in this August body, which objected by Honorable Mondarte.
The objection continues
Yes,
even as against the amended motion,
yes.
Your Honor. It continues. It's a continuing objection, even if there will be further amendment, Your Honor. Because it will have the same effect.
Okay.
That's we appreciate the Madam Chair's explanation along that line. For or against the motion, the Honorable Asugas be recognized, Madam Chair.
Yes, Honorable Troy Asugas is recommended.
Regarding the recognizing the representative from the IPS to be with us as the 11th council member. I just want to inform to all members of this August body, Madam Chair, based on the joint circular, the DIUG number 001/2011. The duties and responsibilities of the Chief Executive, local Chief Executive ng Sangguniang. Item 5.0, 5.1. The Sangguniang concerned shall appropriate funds covering the salaries and appropriate benefits and or emoluments of the selected IPICC representative, which shall be an amount similar to the received by the regular members of the local Sangguniang as prescribed under existing laws. Allow me to continue, Madam Chair. 5.2. The local chief executive concerned shall see to it that funds covering the salaries of the selected IPICC sectoral representative are included in the executive budget, which it shall submit to the Sanggunian in the annual appropriation thereafter enacted by the Sanggunian, Madam Chair. So I would like to inform everybody that we have still no budget for this, Madam Chair, and our role as a member of Sanggunian is we shall appropriate first a fund to any IPL representative, Madam Chair. So I have a copy, Madam Chair, last 2010 letters from the indigenous people, tribal leaders, addressed to the local chief executive and the 10th council last 2010. They are seeking for recognition and they are seeking for consideration regarding the representative of IPs, Madam Chair. And wala nangyari, hindi nila nabigyan ng pagkakataon na ma-recognize yung representative ng IP last 2010. And Madam Chair, in 2013, the same council, that's the 10th council, the same. Nakita nila na lumalapit yung representative sa indigenous people para mabigyan ng consideration last 2010. Bakit hindi nila nilalagay o nilagay sa budget, sa executive budget for 2011, 2012, and 2013? So, bakit ngayon lang na 2013, bakit nila pinopose, no? Bakit nila pinopose na maging part of the 11th Council, and in fact, wala pang budget? Kawawa naman yung kasama natin, magiging kasama natin, na kahit isang 5 cent, wala silang matatanggap. So, Madam Chair, that is only my manifestation regarding the motion of our floor leader, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, unless there are no other manifestation or comments in this period of discussion, we recognize the Honorable Gavinia as the last speaker for the period of discussion, Madam Chair.
I would like to clarify, Madam Chair, the approval of the resolution 2013-0846. It was already approved just a current year on April 2, 2013, not in the previous year, 2012 or 2010. But it was approved and adopted by this, on the time the then council, the legitimacy of membership of Rio Olympio Lingating just last 2013, just last April 2, 2013.
That's
just for clarification, Madam Chair. Yeah, for record purposes.
Is there no other member of this august body who would like to discuss during this period of discussion? Since there is a pending objection, Madam Chair, we have to resort to the division of the House. May so move accordingly, Madam Chair.
Yes, but before anything else, can I make a point of information or clarification? Is that okay?
That's very proper, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. Before we proceed, I would like to ask the proponent of such resolution. Of course, you must have studied that resolution being the proponent. My question is, the Honorable Lingating was selected in 2009, and there is a law that if within 3 years the selected IP is not seated as member of the Sanggunian, then there must be another selection process that has to be made. And since he was selected in 2009, were there efforts on your part to know if there was another selection process as you passed such resolution in 2013? That would be 4 years after. Second, inquiry. Are we not transgressing any national law or any civil service regulations if we put a position or representation in this sanggunian without funding, without salary, or without fund for such position? Please, can you answer me, Sir Gabenia?
Honorable Gabenia, be recognized.
Make any comments, provided if the presiding officer will engage his position as presiding officer. Before I render my declaration based on his
That is not a debate, that is a question from the presiding officer.
Maybe just a point of clarification.
Yes, a point of clarification or information.
That is allowed.
for the sake of that request, Madam Chair, as what I have said a while ago, the proponent is yours truly, is based in accordance of the certificate issued by the DILG and the certificate of affirmation issued by the regional director of the NCIB, which is Sarong and Sungkot CEO. That is my during the representation of this legitimacy of Councilor Mabiling Ate.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable Gabenia.
And secondly, regarding will be discharging students without appropriation, without funding, it is not also prohibited that we will come out with an appropriation to provide salaries for the mandatory IP representative. So I was just trying to explain earlier, in view of the manifestation earlier by the Honorable Asogas, that it is not a condition sine qua non that the mandatory representative will sit there in the council, that there is already a funds, specific funds for that purpose. It will necessarily follow even after his entrance to this August body. So that will be the next step that we might undertake, to come out with a budget, specifically if supplemental budget will be allowed, to allow even the salary only of the Honorable Ingate without first any staff for these remaining years, remaining months of the year, and that will be already provided. The regular staff maybe could be provided in the budget of 2014. But the point is, there is no express prohibition for the IP mandatory representative to sit even in the absence first of an appropriation to that effect. It will necessarily come even after his assumption already as City Councilor of Pacquiao City.
Okay,
Please submit, Madam Chair. The Honorable Asogas be recognized.
Madam Chair, the manifestation of the floor leader, siguro that is his own idea, no? My manifestation also by Madam Chair, the way I understand the law is ganito. The representative of the IPs is entitled to receive equivalent to the privilege, privilege and benefits. When we talk about privilege and benefits, we will not focus only to the money. We will focus also the treatment of the incoming representative. Paano natin ma-follow yung batas? Bago po pa lang niya, wala ng budget. Napakaliwanag sa batas natin na they are entitled to receive equivalent to the other regular member of this August body, Madam Chair. Isang position pa lang, hindi na batas. That's all, Madam Chair.
We recognize the Honorable Alahinio.
Yes.
Sir, Floor Leader. This representation is representing the Liga ng mga Barangay. Before I have accepted as ex-officio City Councilor 2007, I understand that the budget for the ex-officio City Councilor, the Liga ng mga Barangay President, as well as the SKP-related President, was already approved by the Sangguniang Panglungsod, ang budget na po, as well as the staff as is City Council. So, I think we do the same kung sa may ihimo sa Liga ng mga Barangay or the SK chairman before he assume as ex-officio City Councilor. Na po siya budget. Na po siya budget. So I think I joined with the position of our City Councilor, the chairman of the corporation, that we must determine first the budget, because it will affect the personal services. Basically, nag-opening ito sa personal services. Baka mo exit that sa ito ang 55%? 45%? 45%. That's all.
Honorable,
So I would like to move that we have to proceed, although it is hard thing for me to write in a division of the House kay mura matag dili po sa ani for the welfare of our constituents, but I think there are things that we need to disagree, that later on we need to disagree, that later on we agree.
yes.
Madam Chair, as I've said a while ago, that I am objecting because of the number of indigenous people and indigenous cultural communities here in Pagadian City, that they cannot meet the minimum threshold that has been required before the appointment of any representative honorable presiding officer. So I think from that point of view, we have to do first those things. There is really an appointment of the IP representative. As I read on the memorandum circular here from the DILG Honorable Presiding Officer, it only put me in a hard stance with regards to my objection, because there are things not only on the minimum threshold, but there are some disqualifications, there are some selection and assumption of office that we should be enlightened by the proper agency, Honorable Presiding Officer, of which what in mahitabo. I don't know. Again, I do not want to question the wisdom of my colleagues on the 10th Council, pero as of this moment, wala na mahitabo, no? So, how could we accept an IP representative if we are not aware of all those required by the law before his assumption of office as member of the Sangguniang Panlungsod?
Of the 10th City Council is in order, and there is a presumption of regularity. And if there are questions regarding the assumption of the Honorable Ringating to be the IP representative, the process would be questioned by in another body. It is not within the jurisdiction and competence of this august body to review the selection process. And thirdly, as to the matter of budgetary requirements, as I have emphasized earlier, that is not a condition sine qua non for an IP representative to sit, but it will necessarily follow later on. So we submit, Madam Chair.
Yes, so there has been a motion to include Honorable Lingating in this august body as member, properly objected. So we will now proceed with the votation.
Yes, Madam Chair.
It will be done in a secret balloting, duly seconded. So, I think it would be better if we do it in a secret balloting. Kindly. So the answer would be yes to include. Yes means to include, and no means not to include.
Yes, Madam.
Wala kayong nabasa ba? Single penal ka nga. Silingan.
Madam Chair, I received 11 sheets of paper signifying the votes of the members of the council.
Board of Canvassers.
You need each vote, but except the name.
One vote for no, one vote for yes, another for no, another for no, another for no, yes, one, second vote, yes, 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 no, no.
The noes have it. 6 noes and 5 yes. So the majority floor leader, the motion. So the motion to include Honorable Lingating in this August body is not accepted, having 6 votes for no and 5 votes for yes. Maybe the chair now moves for a recess. 5-minute recess.
Resolution number 2013-03 of the Pagadian City Government Employees Association of Pasiguean, entitled "The Resolution Urging His Honor City Mayor Pulmones, the city, to implement the 4th tranche increase for all officials and employees of the City Government of Pagadian pursuant to the mandate of the Salary Standardization Law 3.
Madam Chair, this is a long overdue implementation. So may I move in open session, Madam Chair, for the passage of a resolution adopting the implementation of the 4th tranche salary increase for all officials and employees of the City Government of Pagadian pursuant to the mandate of the Salary Standardization Law 3, subject to availability of funds and other accounting and auditing requirements.
There is a motion to adopt resolution number 2-1303. Is there duly seconded? Are there any objections? There being none, such resolution is hereby adopted.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Next item, Mr. Secretary, please.
That's 5.3, endorsed letter of Engineer Alan Arumpa, OIC District Engineer, Samuel Sur, First Engineering District Department, Public Works and Highways, the city, requesting for a resolution endorsing the reclassification of local access road leading to Pagadian City Airport into a national road.
May I move to refer this to the Committee on Infrastructure, Madam Chair?
Yes, refer to the Committee on Infrastructure, Public Bidding, and Community and Development.
Next item of the agenda, Mr. Secretary.
That's 5.4, copy for financial statement of the City Government of Pagadian under General Fund of the Economic Enterprise for the month ended January 2013.
I understand all the members of this August body had already been furnished of the same. If not, may I move that every member of this August body be furnished a copy of this financial statement to City Government of Pagadian under General Fund of Economic Enterprise for the month of ending January 2013. And thereafter, Madam Chair, we said the financial statement will refer to the Committee on Ways and Means.
Ways and Means or Finance and Appropriation?
Maybe jointly, Your Honor, because this is economic enterprise. Jointly with the
Refers to the Committee on Finance and Appropriation and Ways and Means, and all members should be...
9.6 endorsed documents of Mr. Richard Daniel to the position of City Government Department Head 1, City Administrator for review and confirmation by the Sangguniang Panoson.
May I move to refer this to the Committee on Laws, jointly with the Committee on Good Government, Madam Chair, and Civil Service.
Refer to the Committee on Laws, Rules, and Policy Formulation and to the Committee on Good Government, Ethics, and Civil Service.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Next item on the agenda, please, Mr. Secretary.
Endorsed letter of the Honorable City Mayor requesting for the amendment of SP Resolution number 2013-812, which is authorize the Honorable City Mayor to enter into a memorandum of agreement with DIG related to the construction of 5 km Barangay Napulan, Bomba, Pulayagan, Mabait Coastal Road in the amount of 25 million pesos to Barangay Bomba, Pulayagan, Pantat, Ripopon.
May I move to refer this to the Committee on Infrastructure, Madam Chair.
Refer to the Committee on Infrastructure jointly with the Committee on Police, Fire, and Public Safety.
5. Ano? 5.7, yes. Refer to the Committee on Infrastructure.
Yes. Jointly with the... Yes, Honorable Matarite is recognized.
Question is very much welcome to be Honorable Presiding Officer if I will be included in the referral because I have been attending meetings with regards to Pamana, and this Pamana involves MNLF areas from different locations in the province of Sumanga del Sur. So I am very much willing to the joint referral of Honorable Presiding Officer.
But because the Pamana is a program for rebel returnees, also it involves rebel returnees, Madam. So it is also proper to be jointly referred to the Committee on Police, Madam Chair. 5.7. May we proceed to item number 5-8. Mr. Secretary, please.
Application of Anatolio Lisa 5.9, application of Carlito Anticuesto Jr. for preliminary approval and occupational clearance on lot numbers 299-B-3, PSG-09-046838, covered by transfer certificate of title number 25,940, containing an area of 16,668 square meters with 92 lots or units, located at Barangay Mulatok, this city.
May I move to refer this to the Committee on Planning United States.
Refer to the Committee on Planning United States.
Item 5.10.
Application of Carlito Anticuesto Jr. for preliminary approval and occupational clearance on lot number 1, PSD-09732-001377, located covered by transfer certificate of title number 12,422, containing an area of 20,004 square meters with 52 lots or units located at Barangay Mulatok, this city.
May I move to refer this to the Committee on Planning United States.
Refer to the Committee on Planning and Landed States.
Item 8-5.10. Madam Secretary, please.
Endorsed Resolution number 2, Series 2013 of JCI Pagadian Bayanima, requesting accreditation from the Sangguniang Panoson as non-government organization in the city of Pagadian.
May I move to refer this to the Committee on Education and Accreditation, Madam Chair.
Refer to the Committee on Education, Science and Technology and Accreditation.
Next item of the agenda, Mr. Secretary, please.
We do not have any committee reports.
Not yet. Is there other matters received? I think there are 2 items for other matters. These were not included originally in the original Pangilya, but original agenda.
We have here draft resolution number 1, entitled the resolution, proposed resolution supporting the institutionalization of the National Bible Week and its observance on a yearly basis, scheduled to the 23rd to 29th of January, declaring the above mentioned days as National Bible Week and the 29th of January as National Bible Sunday. This is authored by the Honorable Ernesto Mundante.
And here the reference. So, di ba naman, may I move to recognize the Honorable Mundante?
Honorable Mundante is recognized.
I move that this be treated urgent, Honorable Presiding Officer.
Second.
There is a motion to treat this resolution urgent, duly seconded. No objection, there being none. Yes, please proceed.
This is a proposed resolution supporting the institutionalization of the National Bible Week and its observance on a yearly basis, scheduled from the 23rd to 29th day of January, with the presidential proclamation done by former President Marcos, then followed by former President Cory Aquino, and the executive order by President Ramos, Honorable Presiding Officer. So I move to pass accordingly, Honorable Presiding Officer.
There is a motion to pass resolution supporting the institutionalization of the National Bible Week. Any duly seconded? Are there any objection? There being none, such resolution is hereby adopted.
I have another proposed resolution, Honorable Presiding Officer. I always yield to the pleasure of my colleagues if this will be referred to the Committee on Police. This is a proposed resolution requesting the Regional Director, Police Chief Superintendent Juanito Banyo Jr. through our Provincial Director to augment and download additional police personnel to the Philippine National Police Pagadian City Station. Taking into consideration, Honorable Presiding Officer, that when I was a member of this honorable body during 2001, the number of policemen during the time 167, but 1990-2001. But now it decreased to 121, Honorable Presiding Officer. So we cannot meet the ratio of 1 in every 500 residents in the city of Pagadian. So again, I move for the suspension of the rules, Honorable Presiding Officer, and treat this. No, I move that this be treated urgent, Honorable Presiding Officer.
So there's a motion to treat this resolution as urgent, duly seconded. No objection. We will treat this resolution as urgent.
I move to pass a resolution requesting the Regional Director of Police, Juanito Banyo, and through the Provincial Director to augment and download additional police personnel to the Philippine National Police Pagadian City Station. I move accordingly, Honorable Presiding Officer.
Such motion duly seconded. Are there any objection? There being none, such resolution is hereby approved.
Thank you.
Any other matters with the Secretariat? No more? No more. There are no other matters, Madam Chair, unless there is any announcement to be made by the Honorable Vice Mayor.
I don't have announcement.
By the way, from the steering committee, Madam Chair, from the steering committee, as chairman of the steering committee, we have agreed that the cut-off time for any concerns of the Sangguniang Pangungsod members or any other body to be included in the agenda for the next session will be on the Monday, 10 o'clock in the morning, that will be the cut-off date, so that we could already prepare the agenda up to the afternoon, ready for the session the following day. Because presently it is 3 o'clock, Madam Chair, 2 o'clock, that is too late. So I move that, as Chairman of the Steering Committee, I move that this August body, subject to formal incorporation later on in our amended rules, Madam Chair, that the cut-off date for the acceptance of any concerns of the members of this August body, to include any other entity who would like to have any concern to be treated by the Sangguniang Pangungsod in its next session, would be 10 o'clock in the morning of Monday. I so move, Madam Chair.
Second.
Such motion duly seconded. Are there any objection? There being none, so the new cut-off time would be 10 a.m. Monday.
Yes. Not included in the agenda, may I ask to adjourn, Madam Chair?
There's a motion to adjourn. Duly seconded.
We are closing prayer to be
Session
made by the Honorable Colby.
Session is adjourned.
It's the genius again. For the girls, one more time. Yeah. Girl, me why you hold me like a clothespin and make your breast stand up and make your ass swing. My girl, just gimme, 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 my girl, just gimme, 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 me a boom boom god, me na.